A moment, a thought, a subtle nudge, telling you what's coming next, but you brushed it off, told yourself, nah, it's probably nothing. And then it happens. The thing you knew but chose to ignore. If you're here right now, maybe you're carrying that weight, that quiet, gnawing regret, or just a soft confusion about those moments when you felt like a silent witness to your own story, yet chose to stay silent. Before we go deeper, I want to invite you to stay present for the whole video. Each moment here is like a step, carefully laid out. Skipping one might mean missing the piece that finally shifts everything inside you. This isn't a checklist, it's an unfolding. A way to see yourself with more kindness and clarity. And if you find this resonates with you, there's a warm space here waiting for you to join, to explore these truths together. Let's take this slow, breathe, and lean into what's really underneath. There's something deeply human about those little warnings, those hints from within, that we don't always honor. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's disbelief, maybe it's just exhaustion. But here's the thing, those moments aren't mistakes, they're invitations. And what's about to unfold might just change how you listen to yourself moving forward. 1. The quiet knowing that you're drifting away. You know that feeling sometimes, when you're right in the middle of something, a conversation, a moment, even just a routine day, and suddenly somewhere deep inside, you realize, this isn't really me anymore. Maybe it's a relationship you're in, or a job you've been doing for years. Maybe it's a habit or a way of living that's been comfortable, familiar, but no longer fits. And it's this subtle tug, this quiet discomfort, almost like a gentle ripple beneath the surface, that you try to ignore, because ignoring it feels easier, it feels safer, to keep things normal, to keep the peace, the routine, the life you've built. But what if that feeling, that quiet knowing, isn't just some passing thought? What if it's your soul trying to reach you, trying to wake you up, like a soft alarm clock, ringing not loudly but insistently, saying, hey, you're drifting away from who you really are. Take a moment, breathe that in. Where in your life do you feel that slow drift? Is it a friendship that used to light you up but now feels heavy? Is it a job that drains you more than it fulfills? Or maybe it's something less obvious, a daily habit, a way of thinking, a belief you've held on to simply because it felt familiar. Now I want you to think about what you told yourself in those moments when you felt that tug. Did you say, I'm just tired? Or maybe, this is just how life is? Or, I can't change this right now. All of these are valid and deeply human responses. It's scary, isn't it? The unknown beyond what's familiar. We're wired to seek comfort, to avoid pain, to stay inside the boundaries of what feels safe. But here's the thing, staying in that space where you feel disconnected slowly chips away at something sacred inside you. That gentle whisper inside, the one nudging you towards something more, gets quieter. And when we don't listen, we risk waking up one day and realizing how far we've drifted, away from ourselves. Now, this isn't about harsh judgment or blame. It's about awareness. Because acknowledging that quiet disconnect, admitting to yourself that something isn't quite right, is the first brave step toward reclaiming your path. It's like seeing the first cracks in a wall. You can either ignore them and hope they don't grow, or you can start to repair, to rebuild, to strengthen what matters. And here's where it gets powerful. Because the next truth we'll explore, the one that follows this, is about boundaries. Boundaries that protect your energy, your peace, your sense of self. Boundaries that are not walls, but gentle fences that holds space for what's sacred in you. And trust me when I say this, understanding and honoring those boundaries, it will change everything. So before we move on, I want you to sit with this feeling of drifting for a moment longer. Where do you feel it most? What small steps might you take to notice it more deeply instead of brushing it off? Because this journey, your journey, is about waking up fully to yourself again. And it starts with that quiet knowing. 2. The moment you knew your boundaries were being crossed, that subtle, almost whispering feeling when someone or something crosses a line that you never really fully set. It's not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's just a tightening deep in your chest, a hesitation in your voice. Maybe your throat closes up just a little. That flicker of discomfort, the moment you know, but you don't say anything. You stay silent. Maybe because you want to avoid conflict. Maybe because you don't want to disappoint someone you care about. Or maybe because deep down, you've been told that your needs, your boundaries, they're not as important. I want you to gently bring to mind one of those times. Remember a moment when your boundary was being crossed, but you chose not to speak up. What held you back? Was it fear? The worry about how it would change the relationship? The thought that it's just easier to let it slide? Or maybe you told yourself it's not worth the fight. Those reasons are real, they're valid, but here's the truth that's often missed. Every time you stay silent, every time you ignore that tightening in your chest, it chips away at something essential inside you. Your energy, your sense of self, your peace. It's like a slow leak in a tire. At first you barely notice, but over time, it makes the ride rougher and rougher. And yet, setting and honoring boundaries isn't about building walls to keep others out. It's not about pushing people away or being harsh. It's about holding space for your own peace, your own well-being. It's about telling yourself and the world that you matter, that your time, your energy, your feelings are worthy of respect. Imagine your boundaries like a garden fence, not to imprison, but to protect the flowers inside. Your dreams, your joy, your calm. And the power of saying no, that simple word, is one of the most profound acts of self-love you can offer yourself. It's not selfish, it's not rude, it's necessary. Because when you honor your boundaries, you create space for healing and growth. You teach others how to treat you. You give yourself permission to thrive. And as we lean into the next truth, one that many people avoid, you'll see how this simple act of protection unlocks real power. So before we move on, I want you to ask yourself, where in your life do you need to start saying no more often? What boundaries have you left unspoken? And how might your life change if you honored them? There's no rush here, just a gentle invitation to start noticing. Because reclaiming your peace begins with that awareness. And the journey we're on, it's about coming home to yourself, to your truth, to your power. Hold that close as we move forward. Because what comes next might just shift everything. 3. That gut feeling you ignored about your health. Physical, emotional, spiritual. That quiet, nagging ache somewhere in your body that you tried to brush off. Maybe it was a restless night, tossing and turning, unable to find peace. Or a heaviness on your chest. Not quite fear, but something weighing you down. Maybe it was subtle, a tiredness that wouldn't shake off, no matter how much coffee you drank or how many late nights you powered through. And when those feelings came, what did you tell yourself? I'm fine. It's nothing. I just need to push through. We do this a lot, don't we? We silence our bodies, our hearts, even our spirits. Because in the rush of life, in the pressure to perform, to keep going, it feels easier to ignore the signs. But what if those aches, those restless nights that weight on your chest, what if they're not just random discomforts? What if they're your body, your heart, and your spirit all screaming for attention? I want you to pause here, just for a moment. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what was your body trying to tell you back then? Was it exhaustion? Was it fear? Was it sadness you didn't want to face? Or maybe it was a deeper call, a yearning for something more, something whole. Ignoring these signs can sometimes feel like strength, like we're tough, resilient, unstoppable. But real strength, true strength, is actually the opposite. It's listening. It's tuning in. It's showing up for yourself, even when it's hard, even when it means slowing down, even when it means asking for help. That kind of courage, the courage to face what's really going on inside, it's powerful. It's the doorway to healing. And this next truth we're moving toward, this is where the real power begins. It's about learning to trust that inner voice, to honor your whole self, body, mind, and soul. So before we move on, I invite you to gently reflect. Where have you been ignoring your own signals? What might happen if you started to listen more deeply? This isn't about perfection or pressure. It's about presence, about stepping back into your own life with kindness and awareness. And that's where transformation truly starts. The silent warning that a chapter was ending, that quiet, almost invisible nudge, a whisper deep inside that a chapter in your life is coming to a close. Maybe it was a friendship that slowly faded, not with a dramatic goodbye, but with distance growing between the texts, the calls, the shared moments. Or a job that used to light you up, but now feels like a weight you carry around every day. Or a routine that once gave your life rhythm, but now feels empty, like you're moving through motions without meaning. That silent warning. It's subtle. It doesn't shout. It just fades. And if you're paying attention, you know. You know the door's closing. But here's the thing. Even when you know, it's so hard to let go. Because letting go feels like losing. Losing safety, losing identity, losing the familiar, even when it's no longer good for you. I want you to gently bring to mind a time when you held on tight, even though part of you knew deep down that it was time to release. Maybe you told yourself, if I let this go, what will be left? Or, I'm not ready to face what's next. Those fears are real, they're human. But here's the truth that's easy to forget. Letting go isn't losing. It's creating space. Space for something new, something better, something more aligned with who you really are becoming. It's the breath before the next step, the calm before the dawn. And trust me, the final truth I want to share with you, the one we're about to reach, it will make all of this land differently. Not heavy or painful, but freeing, like taking off a weight you didn't realize you were carrying. So hold that with you as we move forward. Because sometimes the hardest part of growth is knowing when to say goodbye, and the real power comes when you do. The deep knowing that you are enough, even when you didn't believe it. Maybe the hardest moments happen not out there in the world, but quietly inside your own mind. That soft, persistent voice, the one that whispers you're not enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough, not ready enough. You've heard it before, haven't you? That inner critic that shows up right when you're about to take a step forward, just enough to hold you back. And maybe you knew deep down that voice wasn't telling the truth. You might have even told yourself, I know this isn't real. But still, you held on to the doubt. Because doubt feels safe, safer than risking failure, safer than opening yourself up to disappointment. It's like a shield, a familiar one, even if it hurts. But what if I told you there's a different voice underneath all that noise? A quiet, steady knowing that's been there all along. The one you buried beneath the fear and the what-ifs. That knowing says something so simple, so profound. You are enough. You have always been enough. Not because of what you've done, not because of what you've achieved, but simply because you exist. This isn't just a feel-good idea. It's a deep, unwavering truth. And I want you to take a moment and let that sink in. Let it wash over you like a wave, soft and steady. Feel it in your bones, in your breath, in your heart. You are enough. Maybe you don't believe it all the time, and that's okay. Belief is a journey, not a switch to flip. But here's the invitation. When the doubt comes, when that old voice tries to pull you back, remember there's another voice waiting for you. One that holds space for you just as you are. One that sees your worth beyond mistakes, beyond struggle, beyond what the world might tell you. Because real strength is not about being perfect. It's about being present with yourself, exactly as you are. And that presence, that acceptance, is where healing begins. So if you take nothing else away from this, let it be this. You are enough. Now always. And when you truly start to live from that place, everything changes. You carry yourself differently. You show up differently. You begin to move through life not from a place of fear, but from a deep, grounded love for yourself and for what's possible. So hold this truth gently as you step forward, because it's the greatest gift you can give yourself on this journey. If you've stayed with me this far, thank you. These moments you once ignored, they were never failures. They were your soul reaching out, asking for your attention, for your presence. And now with new eyes, you get to meet those moments with compassion and wisdom. You're not alone on this journey. You're walking it right now. And every step is a step toward deeper peace, deeper truth, deeper freedom. If this touched something inside you, I invite you to subscribe and come back for more stories, reflections, and tools to help you reconnect with what truly matters. Remember, the shift you seek is already within you. Sometimes it just takes a little listening. Thank you for being here.